Hey guys, Dark Ride 91 here. Just doing a random video. I wasn't planning on doing any video, you know, not today anyway. I might do a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, the Japanese version, because we are getting two new characters and a few other things that are brand new. And so on Saturday night, I saw, or a lot of us saw, Dragon Ball Super episode 66. And everyone agrees that it is a badass episode. The animation, the music, the plot, just the way it was handled. We got to see things that we haven't seen in many, many years, and we get to see things that happen we never thought would happen. So what I wanted to do was I'm gonna list it as my top five. If I don't have five, I'll change the title to like my top four or whatever. But I wanted to list my top five moments of Dragon Ball Super episode 66. I was about to say 55. We're not on 55. If 66 just ended. But for my number five, I'm gonna list. It was a cool moment, but at the same time, I really didn't like it too much because the way that Trunks just focused on his sword and just put his key or put his energy in the sword and making it look like a spirit sword from Yu Hakusho. It was it wasn't a good moment, but it was a badass moment nonetheless. I did like it. That whole scene with him just putting his energy, putting basically putting himself into the sword was pretty cool. I won't lie. It looked like a yellow lightsaber. I don't think we've ever seen a yellow lightsaber because the color looks like piss. But I thought that was pretty cool. They made Trunks into like this super warrior. Just making him pure badass, and I can see why they brought him back for this arc. And seeing him just do things we haven't seen him, just it was badass. But for my number four, I loved the beginning of episode 66 with Goku just doing a big beam struggle against Zamasu Black with his ball, is it his sun attack or whatever. The shit it was so big it looked like a sun, to be honest. But seeing Goku just oh my, like I'm over here fanboying again, and I'm not even looking at the episode, but seeing Goku do a beam stroke against Zamasu Black at the very beginning of the episode was really really awesome, because just seeing that, it brought me back to the Saiyan saga, because it reminded me of the beam struggle of Vegeta and Goku way early in Dragon Ball Z. And it also reminded me of when Goku, I believe it was episode 11 of Dragon Ball Super, when he did the Kamehameha against Beerus's attack. They look like little nucleuses or little atom bombs or whatever. But it reminded me of that, and I thought it was badass. It was just amazing just to see that. I'm very glad that Toriyama gave Trunks and Vegeta their moment, because honestly, out of all of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, we've never seen Trunks, or we've never seen future Trunks and Vegeta have a moment to themselves and actually do something in the story. But to see father son Gallic Gun, it a lot of people have, from what I've seen, a lot of people like that better than the father son Kamehameha that was done in the Cell Saga. I don't know. I'm kind of on. I'm even with those two attacks. But animation wise, I know that was done in the early '90s. If we were talking about the animation of the Father Son Kamehameha and the Father Son Galagun, I'm leaning towards more of the Father Son Galagun. But the the beam clash of Zamasu Black and Goku at the very beginning of episode 66 was amazing nonetheless. My number three is Goku after um, shoving back the ball to Zamasu Black and making him look like Two Faced, or making his right side look like Ivan Ooze from the original Power Rangers movie. And I'm bringing it way back. I know a bunch of you remember that. Um, the way that Goku found his weakness and just went ahead and just kicked his ass. He really did. He was landing punches. He did a back roundhouse kick to his face. He oh my god! I honestly thought we weren't gonna see the Kaioken Blue again, but he brought it back just this once, and it was the life saving attack that we were told by Hermes 98 for the summary of 66. But just seeing Goku just beat the crap out of him because he found his weakness was just amazing. And I think just him doing that roundhouse kick to his face, knocking him down, was just awesome. It really was. That whole scenery of Goku versus Zamasu Black was just awesome. I'm not going to dispute it. My number two, and for this one, I was kind of battling myself to see what my number two would have been, because both of these, my number two and my number one, are both awesome, but my number one trumps um my number two. Number two is Trunks versus Zamasu Black. The very end, seeing Trunks defeat Zamasu Black. It just seeing him cut Zamasu Black in half remind and I a lot of people have made this connection. And I made the connection right away as soon as I saw it in the episode. He cut him in half just like the way that he cut Frieza in half in at the very end of the Namek saga, early Android saga. But the only difference is he cut him from the bottom up. He actually, if you want to visualize it, visualize a person, and just imagine someone being cut from the balls up. That's exactly how he did it. But the only difference is he didn't do his burning attack. He just cut him in half. But it's not done because it's gonna be recapped at the episode 67 as soon as it starts. But just seeing Trunks and his I call his new form the perfected Super Saiyan 2 form. It may be something. It may be called something else down the line. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an interview with Toriyama and he says what the form is. But I call it the perfected Super Saiyan 2. So seeing Trunks and his perfected Super Saiyan 2 just going head to head with his new sword that he put his energy into, and then while fighting Zamasu Black, he the kids are where Bulma's garage is after she's done fixing the time machine. The kids are there just yelling, "You can do it, Trunks, go Trunks." And then we see them have this white light around them, and I'm looking. I was like, "Don't tell me." It kind of reminded me of Goku doing the Spirit Bomb. It's like, "Oh shit, is Goku doing the Spirit Bomb?" No, he wasn't. It was Goku and Vegeta after getting hit after splitting up from Vegito. Were still on the ground. So somehow, without knowing the attack or even seeing the attack, Trunks had formed this this spirit bomb, and he jumps up into the air, he absorbs it, and it actually goes into his sword. And he has this spirit bomb sword, or spirit sword. Just, it's a different name, or I wouldn't be surprised if it's dubbed differently. But this sword it was much thicker. It was the color of the spirit bomb, and he was just hammering Zamasu Black with that sword. And he goes and he stabs him. He stabs Zamasu Black with the sword, and he pulls it out. He breaks Zamasu Black's um Keyblade. I don't like to say Psionic Blade because it feels like I'm copying Geekdom 101, and that's something that he's called it because he's a big Marvel fan. So I'll give him all credit to that. I don't want to feel like I'm copying him. So I like to call it the Keyblade. So Trunks breaks Zamasu Black's Keyblade, and he stabs him again, and then he just cuts him in half from the balls up, and it was badass. I loved all of it. That whole scenery of Trunks versus um Zamasu Black was just wonderful. It was amazing. It was badass, and I love the fact that Future Trunks was the one to get the kill. Like I said, we'll get to see more in episode 67, but just the ending of episode 66 left everybody in shock. It really did. But I don't want to talk too much on that. I don't want to make it too long of a video. My number one, and my number one is a lot of people's number ones if they were doing the top five best moments of episode 66. My number one is the appearance of Super Vegito. Vegito fucking came back in the episode. I lost my shit. I lost my voice. I flipped the hell out the same way I am now. I fanboyed when he went Super Saiyan Blue. Oh my god. And he even calls himself Vegito Blue. And for those who play Japanese Dokkan Battle, the card I on Thursday, it's Monday. The episode aired 2 days ago for everybody. Or maybe like a day ago for oh no, is it 2 days? Yeah, whatever. But for me, the episode aired 2 days ago. It's now Monday, and I'm now finding out the Japanese Dokkan Battle is making a Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. What? That goes to show you how epic the card is, or how epic the character is. And it's insane because just 2 weeks ago, for the 100 million download celebration for Dokkan Battle, the Japanese Dokkan Battle, I pulled Super Vegito, like the regular Super Vegito, Super Saiyan Super Vegito, and then they come out with the Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. It's like, oh god damn it! Now I gotta pour more money in the game so I can get it. And then he's getting a Dokkan Festival 2, or a Dokkan Awakening 2, and most likely his final Kamehameha is gonna be a super. And speaking of final Kamehameha, Vegito has never done the final Kamehameha in the anime. Final Kamehameha has always been a video game move, and to see him do it in the actual anime, yo, I I was just in shock. I flipped my lid. I was on the edge of my seat. That whole fight between Zamasu Black and Vegito, and then Zamasu Black thought he had Vegito knocked out on the ground, and then we see him come out with the Spirit Sword. Oh man, I swear my room looked like a damn tornado by the time the episode ended, because it was just, oh, I felt like a schoolgirl. I really did. I fanboyed all over the place. I am too, but that whole fight, and whoever was the animator for episode 66 did an amazing fucking job. I have never seen an episode look so crisp since Super has started. The episode was amazing. The only thing I didn't like about the whole Vegito thing was that the whole Potara fusion thing being permanent was retconned in episode 66 because we find out, and honestly, I don't know if anyone has made this connection, but Vegeta was the one that said, "Fine, I'll endure it for an hour." So Vegeta already knew that the Potara fusion was already, it lasted an hour. But while fighting, they had split and it wasn't even an hour. So I'm hoping that Toriyama, in an interview or something, a written interview, a live interview, face to face interview, whatever, explains why the fusion had, didn't last for an hour. So I mean, I can understand the fusion. What was said from Supreme Kai and Gowasu is that if you're not a Kai, that the fusion will only last an hour. But back in the Buu saga of Dragon Ball Z, Elder Kai, who's like God knows how old now, had said to Goku and Vegeta that or to Goku, that the fusion is permanent. So for 20 something years, we all thought that the fusion was permanent. And now we find out that it's only an hour. So, I mean, like I said, I don't know if anybody else made that connection, but I saw the episode raw, and then I watched it with the subtitles on Crunchyroll, and then I saw Vegeta was the one that said it first. Vegeta made two very good points in the episode. The first point that he made was that while being fused, Zamasu cannot regenerate the way he would because he's fused with a non-immortal partner or candidate. So if he can do it very, very slowly. It's not as fast as he was when he was a separate being. And then the second point that Vegeta made, and like I said, I don't know if anybody else made this point, but while Goku was begging Vegeta to fuse, Vegeta even said, before eating the sensu bean and putting on the Potara earring, he said, "Fine, I'll endure it only for an hour." So they already knew that the fusion was only an hour. Or maybe Vegeta knew that it was only for an hour. But like I said, back in the Buu saga, Elder Kai told Goku that the fusion is permanent. But I don't know. But oh my, fanboying like that, I've never fanboyed like that in a very, very long time. The last time I fanboyed was the first time we saw Super Vegito, when we saw Super Gogeta in the Fusion Reborn movie. Oh man, I just loved it. I know I spoke about a few other things, but the whole video was about my top 5 favorite moments of Dragon Ball Super Episode 66. So I hope you enjoyed. I want you guys to tell me what were your favorite moments. You don't have to list all 5. You can just list 1 or 2, but what were your favorite moments of episode 66? If you saw it, I know it's Monday, and a lot of people want to say, "Oh, spoiler alert, spoiler alert." Well, it's not. You can't use the word spoiler alert no more because the raw version in Japan comes out at, I live in the East Coast, so for me it comes out at 8 o'clock, or 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then at 9 o'clock it's on Crunchyroll or Daisuki TV, or there's another one. There's like 3, but I remember Crunchyroll and Daisuki TV. So there are no more spoilers if it comes on an hour after it airs in Japan. So that's just my opinion. But list your favorites, your favorite 2 moments in Dragon Ball Super, and put hashtag Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. And I will see you guys in my next video if I come up with any ones this week.